We have a lot of things going on today, so we're just going to jump right into it. So let's talk about the chaos that broke out during the ICE protest and what the media is politely calling demonstrations. A woman rammed her car into a DHS vehicle, got out with a semi-automatic weapon, and was shot by agents. And instead of focusing on how insane that is, we got headlines crying about excessive force. Are you kidding me? You ram into officers with a gun in your hand, and they're supposed to what? Ask nicely? Take a look.
Well, we had a really strange incident yesterday where we had a caravan of 10 different vehicles that were following our Border Patrol agents and officers that were out there on the streets of Chicago. And they had followed them and gotten them cornered, pinned them down. And then our agents, when getting out of their cars, they tried to run them over and had semi-automatic handguns on them to where our agents had to protect themselves, and shots were fired, and an individual ended up in the hospital that was attacking these officers. Very dangerous situation. And then in that situation as well, this individual had threatened them previously and had told them that they all needed to go down and shouted expletives at them. So our intelligence indicates that these people are organized. They're getting more and more people on their team as far as attacking officers, and they're making plans to ambush them and to kill them. We have specific officers and agents that have bounties that have been put out on their heads. It's been $2,000 to kidnap them, $10,000 to kill them. They've released their pictures. They've sent them between their networks, and it's an extremely dangerous situation and unprecedented. So we've put protective detail around those individuals, changed some of our operations to keep our officers safe. But make no mistake, this isn't just about, protesting free speech or that they don't like that people out here are upholding the law of our country. They're actually going out there and saying, kill these people and we'll give you this much money to do it.
Meanwhile, the Chicago Police Department was told to stand down. Let that sink in. People were armed, violent, and targeting federal agents, and the local police department was told to sit this one out. But remember, you're the extremists if you believe in law and order.
Now in Chicago, sources telling Fox News police there were told to actually stand down on helping ICE agents who are in danger. Mike Tobin has this story for us, all the details. Hi, Mike.
And Dana, we've got a lot of rank-and-file Chicago police officers behind the scenes telling us that they are outraged that the stand-down order went out to them after federal agents were attacked. The order appears to have come through a communication from the chief of patrol over the communication through the Office of Emergency Management and Communication, reading, "No units will respond to this." Multiple police sources have confirmed to us the message is authentic, and it is backed up by audio of the stand-down order.
And again, per the Chief of Patrol, we have all the units that, per 999, Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location. All right, and 999, just to confirm, 39th Police in Kedzie, they were saying that they were being surrounded by that large crowd, and they were requesting the police were not sending. I'm waving off all the cars heading to 39th Police in Kedzie.
Again, those are the orders we're being given.
In an official statement, CPD says officers did respond. Writing, quote, CPD responded to the scene to document the incident. CPD officers were also on the scene to maintain safety and traffic control.
What we're watching isn't protest, it's pure lawlessness. And the fact that leadership is okay with it tells you everything about where we're headed. All right, the Supreme Court is about to hear a case that should have every Christian in America paying attention. Colorado has banned what they call conversion therapy, but here's the thing. It's not about shock treatments or torture chambers. This is about words. A Christian counselor can talk to a teen about changing their gender, but not about holding on to their faith or biblical truth. Make that make sense. This isn't about therapy. This is about control. The state is basically saying you can say what we approve of, but keep your beliefs to yourself. That's not freedom of speech. That's censorship. Plain and simple. And if the Supreme Court doesn't call it out, we're in trouble, because once the government can dictate which truth you're allowed to speak, they own the conversation.
The Supreme Court began a new term today, marking the first day of oral arguments. One of the marquee cases of this term will be argued tomorrow. A challenge to a ban on so-called conversion therapy for youth. The practice broadly refers to attempts to change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. It's banned in 23 states and the District of Columbia. By one estimate, Some 350,000 LGBTQ adults received conversion therapy as adolescents. The Supreme Court declined to hear challenges to such bans in the past, but as Stephanie Sy reports, this case is being heard against a backdrop of intensifying cultural and political debates around LGBTQ rights.
We're on day 7 of the government shutdown, and let's just call it what it is, a stunt.
Government shutdown enters another day after the Senate once again failed to pass a funding bill last night. And the vote failed 52 to 42, with 2 Democrats and 1 independent voting for the Republican plan. However, those same lawmakers voted in favor of the bill last week. So effectively, there's been no movement from Democrats, and both parties continue to shift the blame.
Democrats caused this shutdown to save face, not to save the country. They refused to pass a budget that reins in spending, blocking every effort at border security, and turned around and blamed the Republicans for the mess that they made. This isn't about keeping the lights on, it's about keeping power. They'd rather shut down the government than admit that their reckless spending and over-border policies have bankrupted the country morally and financially. And while they're busy playing politics, everyday Americans are the one paying the price. Families trying to make ends meet, small businesses are struggling, and veterans are waiting for checks while Washington is throwing a tantrum. You know it's wild? We've sent billions overseas, but when it comes to taking care of our own people, suddenly there's no money. This isn't leadership, it's manipulation. And if this is how the Democrats govern, maybe a little less of their government is exactly what the country needs. Oh yeah, and they're still getting paid.
Instead of just letting them do their jobs, which they want to do while we work out our differences, so wrong.
This is democracy. And in a democracy, hostage tactics are the last resort for those who can't win their fights through elections, can't win their fights in Congress, can't win their fights for the presidency, and can't win their fights in the courts.
A government shutdown of any duration would harm hardworking Americans and our economy.
Why should we ask TSA officers to go without their hard-earned pay while they protect our airports?
I'm a senator from Virginia. Some of the hardest effects of shutdown will be seen in my state.
If the government shuts down, it will be average Americans who suffer most.
Some who right now are trying to figure out how they're going to pay rent, how they're going to make mortgage payments, how they're going to keep college payments going, how they're going to keep the lights on, how they're going to keep food on the table.
Had the government shut down, hundreds of thousands of people would have not gotten their paychecks. Federal employees would have been furloughed, sent home.
Our military won't get paid. Head Start teachers won't get paid. Our wildfire fighters won't get paid. Federal prison guards won't get paid.
A government shutdown means seniors who rely on Social Security could be thrown into chaos. Our veterans could see regional VA offices shut down and support services put on hold.
Shutdowns are not good for the economy.
Shutdowns cost taxpayers billions of dollars per week.
Shutdowns cost the economy billions of dollars.
They cost businesses money. They could even cause a downgrade to the nation's credit rating.
Families who benefit from WIC and other nutrition programs could see benefits halted.
If this shutdown continues indefinitely, 39 million Americans will risk not having enough food. They will lose their SNAP benefits in February. So that means American children will be going to bed hungry. It's unacceptable.
The longer that this shutdown goes on, the more Americans that will be affected.
Critical services and our economy are being threatened with poison pill partisanship. Shutting down the government should not be a negotiating tactic.
Hostage taking is all they have left, a last gasp of those who cannot cope with the realities of our democracy.
That's it for today. Remember, stand firm, speak truth, and let God handle the rest. And as always, keep fighting the good fight.